This is a short bite episode of Homeschool Together. Hello to another short bite edition episode, and this is our ongoing self-care month where Ariel and I are talking about self-care type of things, and today's probably, leading in off our Monday episode where we talked about eating right, and a lot of our philosophy around eating right and how important that is for us. And then, piggybacking on our fitness journey one that we talked about before, we know a lot of homeschool parents are probably thinking about, how do I make meals? How do I stay healthy while being, a homeschool parent that's at home and doing things? And it can be difficult and challenging, and there's snacks everywhere. My God, all my kids have Cheerios with them. It's like a war. Yeah. I gotta buy it by the kilo or the truckload of Cheerios. How do I stay fit and do it, this type of thing? So today we're going to talk about not supported episode, not advertised by HelloFresh, but we're going to talk about how we used HelloFresh essentially almost all of last year.
Yeah, we use it quite a bit. And we're just going to talk about the good, and the bad. And we just wanted to let you know because it was something really valuable for us. I think that the pros of it for me were that...
well, let's explain what HelloFresh is.
Yeah, so HelloFresh is a meal subscription service where you're going to get a box sent to you as often as you want, every week or every other week, or whatever you choose.
And you get to pick a number of meals, and there's like a lot that you can choose from.
Right.
It gets shipped to your house in essentially a cardboard box that has like packed ice and insulative material. So you're getting your protein, you're getting your vegetables, you're getting your spices and sauces, and essentially everything you need. I think outside of salt and pepper, like they just assume,
and oil and butter,
and a little bit of oil and butter. They assume you have that in your house.
Right. So you still have to make the meal. And I wasn't really sure if we were going to dig this or not.
We tried it on a whim.
Yeah,
we were gonna try like a couple different ones,
right? And we never ended up going to any other ones.
Yeah, we just stayed with HelloFresh.
One of the things that I really liked that we chose our meals every week because I'm a fairly picky eater and I wasn't gonna just like accept anything. So I wanted to be able to pick all my meals, or to say, nah, nothing looks good this week, I'm just gonna skip this week. So you have that. There's ability.
A lot of freedom and choosing, when to use it and not to use it.
Yeah. So you sign up for whatever it is, 2 meals a week or 3 meals a week for 2 people or 4 people. You make your decision, and then you can skip weeks.
We chose to do mainly the 2 meals,
right?
Most of the time.
Yeah, we did, and really for us, that's because oftentimes I would split my meal with our older daughter, and our younger daughter would get just like a little bit of yours, and we were basically making a 2 meal fit our family of 4, just because our kids are young and we could do that. But otherwise, if you have older kids, you'd want to get a larger order, or sometimes we'd just make our kids something separate that they were into, and we would eat the meal ourselves. One of the things I liked about it the most was that it was a totally defined experience, and I knew that I wasn't, when you make something from scratch, it's like, okay, well, you kind of know what the calories are and the protein stuff, but I make 5 pieces of chicken. I'm deciding I'm only going to have 2. Oh, there's another piece of chicken there. Maybe I'll just have half of it, right? I mean, it's kind of nice that this is just a defined thing. This is the meal. This is how much it is, and I know exactly what the calories are going to be, and I can plan my day around. I know what dinner is going to be.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing too, we do a lot of scratch meals. We've been doing that for years. I mean, we make everything from scratch. We don't do a lot of prepackaged meals, but. You're right. A lot of times we've been, I have I do a lot of the cooking during the week. I'm like the bulk cooker, and you're like the specialized cooker. So most of the time I'm trying to think about making meals that are going to have a little bit extra for like lunches the next day or whatnot.
Right. And sometimes that gets eaten.
And that gets eaten, and that can create a problem. And so you're right. Like having just this, like, this is all we're going to have. We got to split it all up, and there's nothing that's going to be left over. Made it a little bit easier that we didn't overeat, and we didn't, we didn't dig back into what some of the leftovers, or maybe there was like a little bit of leftovers and then some, and you can go ahead and grab that. You liked, because it was this kind of self-contained thing. Yeah. Was there anything else you liked about it?
I thought the recipes were really good. I thought they were very tasty. One of the things that I really enjoyed about it was that you get these really nice 8.5 by 11 recipe cards.
They're amazing. Yeah.
They're really nice, and you get to keep those. So I kind of felt like every recipe that we got that we liked, I was like, great, I'm going to add that to my recipe book. And, and ultimately...
And we have a huge stack of them.
We have a huge stack, and they're really good. We liked almost everything that we made from it.
We tend to like a lot of their Mexican items. Like they had a lot
Mexican
of
items
like
are really
the
good.
Tacos. There was like a lot of like variations on tacos. that were all really good. And we tried to really...
There were some Asian tacos that were really good.
yeah.
I mean, there was some really, really good food.
Yeah.
So one of the things is I really liked that you got to keep the recipes. And some of them did involve like proprietary sauces. But I found that with a quick internet search, you could come up with people who had made like a copycat sauce.
Or it's something that you could go to one of your, ethnic food stores and find something that's just regularly available.
Yeah, that was really
for
similar.
$2, I can get this special, food,
Right.
fish sauce or
There
something
wasn't
like that.
there wasn't always a lot of that, but there was some like special spice blends and stuff.
Yeah.
And plenty of people have tried to figure out like
Yeah,
roughly
what
what
is it?
that
Yeah.
spice blend was. So I didn't find that too difficult as far as like keeping the recipe to make on our own. I liked that I had that ability. One of the other things that I really liked about it was it taught me, and I feel like I'm a pretty good cook. It taught me some new techniques that I wasn't aware of. I really always felt kind of uncomfortable like cooking rice in a saucepan. I always wanted to use the rice cooker. I got really comfortable with cooking it in a saucepan. I got comfortable with cooking rice with aromatics,
Yes.
which I had never done
A lot
before.
of ginger and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That ginger white rice is
The ginger, scallion.
scallions, white rice, and like a chicken stock. It
Oh
was
my gosh.
stellar. It
Yeah,
was
and
really good.
I learned a lot about that. So I learned some really interesting cooking techniques that I hadn't experienced before, which I really liked. And we got to keep these recipes.
And you also got exposed to some peppers, some non-spicy peppers.
Right, because I'm a real spice wimp, but they did a lot of different types of Mexican, Mexican American type, like meat. So we've just always done the traditional, like ground beef or ground turkey with McCormick's taco seasoning. Super
Giving away all the secrets, Ariel.
it's not been very inventive. And I found that this was like, they dice up onions and poblanos, and then they would saute that,
And it wasn't that much more. And so
no, but it gave me some like interesting ideas, and we have taken and incorporated a lot of the ideas that things we learned for HelloFresh. For me, HelloFresh was a kind of a time period for us.
Yeah.
Just for full disclosure, we are not HelloFresh members now.
Yeah.
Because I think we got what we needed out of it, which is we got all these great recipes, and we got some really valuable cooking techniques and how to make some really great meals. And not every meal was like 100%, low cal. I mean, you could choose ones that were, but we found that we were able to make them such like sometimes they would be a little bit lower calorie than you needed, but a little bit higher calorie than I needed.
So I just took a little bit of yours.
You would have some of mine, or we'd give the kids part of our meal.
Yeah.
So it really worked out. I think for me, the biggest thing is that it was a little bit expensive.
A tiny bit. But if you think about what it really was, it was for us an alternative to going out to eat.
Yeah. And that's how we looked at it too.
That's
We
how we
looked
looked
at
at
it
it.
like it was
Going out for a family of 4, even with the 2 little kids,
my
man,
gosh,
will
it's
crush
so
the wallet.
expensive.
I mean, it just starts crying the
and it
minute we
ended
walk
up
in.
being like, I think it was like $8.50 or $9 a person, something like that, for the meals when we were paying for them. But yeah, we looked at it like going out to eat. It was something different that you didn't normally get to have. So it was kind of a treat, but it wasn't an expensive treat. And it was one that we totally understood the calories and the macros on. So made us feel good about what we were doing. And we learned some new techniques.
And it fit really nicely right into our Fitbit apps where we could, we knew exactly how much we were having. Right. They gave us all the macros. We could just put it in as a custom item in our Fitbit calculator, the calorie calculator, and it worked really nicely. And it was perfect. And it was really, really important for us during that period where we were, in the groove during the middle of the summer of last year. We were like getting a lot of great success. We're seeing, we're getting new clothes and we're feeling great. And we're out walking a lot and we're doing a lot of fun things. And HelloFresh was a really, really integral portion of that. And again, we weren't doing it all 7 days of the week. We were only doing about 3 days a week.
We did, 3 meals a week.
We were really targeting mainly those weekday meals where we, a lot of times, things can get out of hand, something gets busy or something happens and you got to scramble to make dinner. It's like, okay, we'll just pull a pizza out of the fridge or let's go out to, taco time and go have tacos or something like that. Instead of doing that, we always had these meals that were ready to go. One of the things that I liked about the meals was the preparation was not a lot. Like it was like 20 minutes of prep work, 10 or 15 minutes of cooking time. So you're talking about like a 30-minute prep meal and boom, you have dinner. I love that. And also on the cards that Ariel was talking about, really beautifully detailed, very logical ways to assemble the meal. They show you all the pictures. They give you all the descriptions, all the, the amounts that you're supposed to put on it. with images of along the way. So it's like, oh, if you got to chop up all this stuff, you're putting all your mise en place together and you're doing all your chopping and preparing of everything. They give you an image of what it should look like. You go, oh yeah, mine kind of looks like that. Great. I feel like I'm, confident that I'm doing the right thing. I liked that because I could sit there with like a podcast on Homeschool Together and, listen to something. Kids are, watching PBS Kids or something, and I can make dinner just by following the instructions. And I don't really have to think too much about it, which is really nice.
Yeah, I think it was great. And as much as, it is a little bit costly, really we felt like, you didn't have to buy a whole jar of a sauce. Like
No.
There was one we did. It was like I think it was like a pork in a plum sauce or no, an apricot sauce or something. It's like if I had to buy an entire jar of apricot jam.
There goes the budget. Yeah.
We don't eat apricot jam. So I would have just been holding on to that to maybe use it in another meal. And I didn't know if I'd like it. And so, I think that as much as there is a bit of more cost to the individual items themselves, the fact that you don't have to buy entire, bottles and jars of stuff it does save in that way. So I think that it was worth that. The other thing is that there's pretty good promotional stuff as far as like when you first sign up, you get some pretty good deals, so you can get some good recipes out of it.
The thing that I liked about it as well was all the ingredients and all the things that got shipped to us felt like they were in good quality. I never felt like, oh, something's been sitting too long. Everything was super cold because of the way they packed it. The vegetables were in really good quality, really good shape. We had one time where there was like something wrong and you let them know and they immediately refunded us for that meal, which was super nice. So quality and the service around the company seemed to be top notch. We really enjoyed it. We had other people try meals too. Like sometimes we had a little bit extra and people tried it and they really liked it. We were constantly trying to tell our friends, hey, every time we got a shipment, we would always get these, give to a friend thing. So we were always having these like, Hello Fresh giveaways. So we were always giving them to friends and say, hey, give it a try. We've been enjoying it. We've liked it. So
yeah. And so I think that this really is just not specifically about HelloFresh. No. That's what we used, but there's Blue Apron. There's a bunch of them.
There's a bunch of them, yeah.
If you're struggling to put together meals or just to get
some good ideas.
Yeah, ideas. We tended to get in the rut of making the same meals over and over again.
Did you ever find that like because a lot of times the meals are shifting and changing from week to week. They're not always the same thing.
Right.
Did you ever have issues where like you couldn't find a meal or there wasn't anything that looked really appetizing?
Yeah, we had one week. I remember a couple of weeks where I was like, nothing really stood out to me those weeks. And we were going to be kind of busy. And I was like, I'll just skip those weeks, right?
Exactly.
If they weren't appealing enough, then but in general, I basically always found things. And then if you want to add an extra meal, it's like half price to add an extra meal above whatever your plan is. So sometimes there would be something that looked really good on there and I'd be like, oh, I'm just going to add another one. You can also pick whatever your delivery day is. So we decided to make our delivery day on Mondays so that we would have the whole week of, and we knew what was coming, so we could already kind of plan it in, but we'd have the basically the whole working week to use those ingredients and for things to be fresh. Because originally we were getting shipments on like Wednesday or Thursday, I think, and it was taking us into the weekend.
Yeah.
And we tended to see family on the weekend or eat out on the weekend, and then it was sitting longer. So we tended to get it right at the start so we could use it during those weekdays.
Yeah, we're really and especially if we had like a really busy day, it was really nice to get those quick meals out. I agree with you. It's a perfect thing for the middle of the week.
Yeah.
Slogged when you've got to make a meal quick. These were the great thing for those.
And we haven't done it in probably 3 months or so.
Because we've grown in the holidays. We're like, I don't think we should do this anymore right now.
And so we stopped it. And I kind of miss it because it was really nice and the meals were really good.
Yeah. Tonight we would have done it. If we had one of the taco meals, we would have had that because we had tacos tonight and I had to go into the freezer and dig out some pre-made taco meat. We would have
totally done it. So
some of my great McCormick's taco seasoning.
Hey, I'm not knocking McCormick's. Not knocking it.
Brought to you by Homeschool Together, brought to you by McCormick's taco seasoning.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah. But so anyways, I would say that what we're trying to communicate with this is if you've been interested in one of the meal companies and you do want to be really, know exactly what's in your food. It's really good. Try a couple of them on for size. That's what we were going to do originally.
We were going to try a bunch of them.
Do the promotional things where you get it at lowest cost. Try a few things. Even if all you do is try a few promotions and collect the recipes, and then you have, a dozen new recipes in your arsenal, then I think you've won.
Yeah, because a lot of times we can get into that kind of slog where we have the cycle of 10 recipes or 10 meals that we rotate through, and then the periodic like extra 4 or 5 that make the rotation once in a while.
And I tend to like to try new recipes.
Yeah.
I do the special cooking, so I do like to try that. But a lot of times they have a lot of ingredients.
Yeah.
And
very expensive.
All of these have not just that, but complex. All of these recipes had not too many ingredients, and none of them were too complex.
No.
So they made for great weeknight meals.
Essentially oven or in the pan. Like there was no frying, rarely any. I don't think there was ever
no
frying, nothing like that. It was either you were baking things or you were cooking things in the like a big round pan,
a skillet or a saucepan. Yeah, there's
no wok, nothing like that. So it was all skillets and
strange.
pans. Yeah.
So it was really great, and I think even if you just end up with some recipes that kind of get you out of your rut, it's worth it. Try a few on for size.
Absolutely.
And see which one you can get the deal on. They've always got deals for how many boxes free or whatever. Take advantage of a couple of them and, see what you think. Thanks so much for joining us today and making us a part of your homeschool journey. Please engage with us on social media. Join our Homeschool Together podcast group on Facebook and find us at Homeschool Together Podcast on Instagram. We'd love to hear your feedback, questions, and recommendations. Until next time,
happy homeschooling!